How? That makes 1.8 million people and 990,000 people. Price 8.6 respectively, and 8.8 points, and firmly in the top 100 hub. A must-see movie for the past 29 years. With a tight script, step by step to promote greetings and conclusion, suddenly causing a sudden overwhelm. Listening to the breath makes the viewer feel, get, deep, face, the darkest of humanity and self, unconsciously questioning oneself, as if to become a cultivator of the 7 deadly sins. This is the first work David Fincher's hand was. Honor is the high house of all types of crimes, detectives. The movie is called 7. The story begins with a case that Somerset Lieutenant Police have present at the scene. He has reached the age of retirement and only has, in a week, to leave the police. Therefore, the department sent a hot-tempered young detective as Muse to take his place. In the coming week, Somerset will guide Muse to familiarize himself with it environment and handed over the work to Muse. Somerset worked carefully, calm meanwhile. Muse was impatient and impulsive again. The big difference in personality that makes them give. The head is not harmonious. Both of them did not meet each other's eyes. However, the cases that they about to face will bring. They go into dark corners, and the most timely. On Monday, the police received a call to report the crime. Another murder occurred. Muse and Somerset immediately changed the rain to investigation scene. Entering the house, a strong stench came. They discovered a man, weighed 300 pounds, and died. The victim died in the head position, upside down and bowl of doubt. His hands and feet were tightened with a wick. The body sits on its own waist. The back of the head has a pronounced bruise. The table is full of easy snacks. Under the table is a barrel, large, full of vomit. Mixed odor count, expressed in words. When the forensic doctor completes the autopsy, the corpse they showed, thicker of the victim is bigger, a whole basketball. The cause of death was overeating to death. The victim's duodenum was significantly enlarged. The inner walls of the duodenum are torn. He eats to the point that his body refuses to. Is it floating? Not really. Machete on forensic examination. Somerset speculates that the victim was evil enemies point guns at their heads. Forced to eat continuously for less, at most 12 hours until, when the stomach reaches the deadline, is broken, causing internal bleeding leading to death. Somerset, with long experience, before the vacation, felt that this case was not simple. No clear motive. The miracle murder comes. So, definitely not. Only to cause a single case. But when the day of his vacation is approaching us, do not want to accept this case. Because he doesn't want the last days of the same career, faced with a complicated case, and such perverts. That will be regretted for the rest of my life. However, he also did not want to muse with youth, and my enthusiasm must be shouldering this case. Somerset feels this case too heavy for Muse. This made Muse unhappy. I want to debate. The same, but the superior rejected Somerset's request, forcing him to complete the last mission. The superior is still the superior. Irresistible. Somerset had to accept. On Tuesday, the second victim appeared. The victim is a defense attorney. Another strange murder. The victim was forced by the murderer, forced to cut from the muscle. I took out a bag of meat, put on the scale, then blood from the whole body. The victim was withdrawn. On the floor there is a word greed. Lamb is written in blood. Moreover, on the photo of the victim's wife, there is a drawing of a pair of blood glasses. The murderer left a fragment, leading to the next case. Muse did his best to investigate the case, but for the time being, I don't know where to start. At the same time, forensics found floor debris in the previous victim's stomach. Somerset returns to the scene of the incident for investigation. He found that on the floor completely matches the debris in the victim's stomach. These traces seem to be traces when moving a refrigerator. So Somerset moved the cabinet, cold ahead. Indeed, behind it is the word greed, written in animal fat. Besides, the murderer also leave a piece of paper after returning to Somerset Police Station, due to submitting clues to superiors. The content on the piece of paper reads, "The path to light from the earth, the prison of the dark heart, and the teeth of suffering." Somerset believes this is just the beginning. The murderer is carrying out murder plan, series based on the 7 deadly sins in the Bible, including gluttony and greed, laziness, hatred, arrogance, lewdness, and envy. Wait, I don't want to get stuck to this case. Somerset. He wants to take this. There. I don't mind. Even though his mouth says he doesn't want to get involved. But Somerset still went to the library. He plans to choose a few books related to the 7 deadly sins for Mills for him to better understand the dynamics of the murderer. Gentlemen, I could never understand all these books. A world of intellectuals at your fingertips. But what are you doing? Playing cards all night. Meanwhile, Mills is also looking up lakes, but still haven't found a clue. Somerset makes a list of books, need to read, and put in an envelope left on the table. Mills' work, the next day. Mills sees a list of books. Somerset immediately borrowed the books from the library. But, with complex, literary books, he couldn't read it. Upon returning to the police station, Mills received a call from her wife, Tracy. She knows about the tensions near between Mills and Somerset, so it was invite Somerset to the house as a guest by Italy to reconcile their relationship. Mills and Tracy are the catch couple, from college for Kyle to today, and has walked into the wedding hall. In front of his wife, Mills rarely showed such enthusiasm. The three of them had a lot of fun, and this dinner is real, helped to erase the eyes between Somerset and Mills. The house is just warm, while riding cockroaches, and also knowing how to sway. Right. Sorry, after dinner. The two stayed at home looking at photos of the victims. They discussed the case together, of the murdered lawyer. Because the lawyer's office is closed on Sunday, too, and add both days, weekend. Somerset speculates that the murderer broke in on Friday night and torturing the law monk for 3 days in the room until the close is played. On Tuesday morning, at the scene there was a scale. Murderer forcing the law. The monk has to cut a bag, meat from his body, and then put it on the scale. There is also a passage next to it. A sack of fresh meat. No kind, no less. No cartilage, no dew, only meat. From the Merchant of Venice. The story of a spear, Venetian named Antonio. To help his close friend marry his wife as a money, from the usury driving Silic and handicap, admitted that if he could not pay the debt, he would cut it off, a bag of meat, to pay off debts, because he could not pay the debt. In the last session, and the wife of a close friend said that Silic can take meat without spilling a drop of blood from Antonio's body. In the end, they had to ignore it. Silic character in the great story, for greed. The murderer thinks that the law, the defense is like, Silic therefore use this way of killing people. But the murderer was very careful. The scene did not leave any, which fingerprint is the dial. Even the actions are caused by the victim himself did it. The two victims also did not have any contact system, let alone witnesses. No clues. Neither of them made any progress. Suddenly Muse remembered the photo of the lawyer's wife. The murderer drew the circle, with blood on the eyes. After Somerset's review, he speculated that this is the instruction of the murderer. Perhaps the lawyer's wife can provide clues. So they immediately found her. After the lawyer's wife saw the photos of the scene, she spotted an unusual detail. Wait, what? This place, this painting, it hangs upside down. From that detail, they returned to show. The case school took down the picture, but after careful inspection, still didn't see anything unusual. Muse thinks they're being played by a killer, pranked. But Somerset disagreed. He hung it on the cabinet, and used it, sweep over the wall, and detected on the wall. There is a set of fingerprints. It's unbelievable. Call now. Fingerprint inspection department. Then, when the inspection department fingerprint returns, they distribute. There are 2 words on the wall that can be stitched together from fingerprints. Save me. Soon after, they transfer fingerprints to comparison in the system, because the technology at that time was still backward. So the fingerprint projection takes quite a long time. Somerset and Muse are lying on their necks waiting. Results on the sofa near the door. Time passed until Thursday. 2 people. Get up. You have found the suspect. After comparing through the police system, they identified the suspect as Victor. According to the personal profile of the person, this is a patient, mentally ill, have committed many criminal offenses. The victim was previously a lawyer, who successfully defended Victor. But Somerset looks like his face was full of worry. Don't you believe this? Looks like Victor isn't who we need to seek, right? What do you think? Our killer seems to have a clearer purpose. Clearly Victor is not a good fit for portray of the murderer. However, the arrest still took place, so both High was forced to go to the scene to verify. Shortly afterwards, the police to Victor's residence. A large force surrounds the suspect's house, but they were all surprised when the task force broke the door inside. The scene inside makes all the bear. Everyone was stunned. Victor had been dazzling in bed for a long time. His body was as thin as life, are full of latex ditches on the walls. The left ear was cut off by the murderer. On the bedside wall, there is a large letters are written, lazy die. Mute finds a photo planter in the box next to it. Photos at the scene shows that the suspect have been tortured for a year. The murderer is still carefully arranging photos in chronological order. The bottom photo is of exactly 1 year ago, and the most recent one is from 3 days ago, on the day of the first case. Mute thinks that the murderer is making ridicule the police. He was still alive. This bastard is still alive. Put down the gun. Call an ambulance immediately. So Victor is not dead, which also makes people at the scene of heavy shoveling. Later, Mute and Somerset discuss about the case in Hoan Lang Dot. What are you doing? The scene has been blocked. Get out of here right away. It is because of this hot personality of it, Mute, that the last case pushed up to the pinnacle of watch, a work of art. Canna transferred to the hospital. Through a comprehensive examination of Victor, it was discovered that the murderer had give him a large amount of medicine. The goal is so that Victor can't die. His tongue was also, the murderer cut it off. After a long year of imprisonment and torture, Victor's spirit completely collapsed. Therefore, it is impossible to obtain what are some useful clues from him as an investigative tool. Fell into a stalemate again, because he was constantly murdered by the Howe, leading Somerset and Mute. There were disagreements when discussing the case. Somerset believes the murderer, this superior intelligence, he thought extremely thoroughly, and are not allowed to be taken lightly. But Mute disagreed. He thinks that you should not appreciate the Howe murder to demean themselves. Then Mute's wife, Chessie, made an appointment to meet Somerset. Maybe because of the maturity and Somerset's static point, or because she just moved to this city and have no friends. Chessie revealed to him that she was pregnant, but has not told Mute. She feared that this would become a burden for her husband. At the moment, she feels very confused. She didn't like this city either, doesn't like the current life, so she doesn't know if she should give birth or not. After hearing the worries, Chessie, Somerset settling, gave sincere advice. If you don't want to keep this child, if that's her decision, don't tell her. Now tells her that she was pregnant. But if she chooses to give birth to this baby, love and nurture it, whenever possible. That's all the advice that I can give it to you, Chessie. Time quickly shifts to Friday. The case has not progressed. This guy is very scheming and thought extremely carefully. The scariest thing was that he was very patient. He's just a madman. Even if there is no library. That is, he is as wise as a lover. But Muse's words made Somerset awake. If all the cases of the authenticator are based on the 7 deadly sins in the Bible and him committing crimes, hey, he's sure will read books related to this topic. If you can get a list of people recently borrowed a book to the owner, this question maybe they can identify the person who confirms the person. Somerset immediately printed the name, books, and find a friend who works at the FBI secretly. Ask him to check the list of people have read these books recently. The FBI spends a lot of people every year forced to penetrate the system. Habit tracking library. Read their books. Some special books are flagged by the FBI. Anyone who borrows dangerous books were all reported to the FBI. This is to prevent potential risks. The FBI provided them with a list of names. Based on critical judgment of reading habits of the validator, they quickly narrow the list and find out a suspect named Jones A. This person borrowed a lot books on religion and crime in a short period of time. So Jonesy got on their radar. They decided to go to his house to check. Unexpectedly, the blind cat can catch fried fish. When he arrived at Jonesy's door, he knocked on their door, spotted a figure at the end of the corridor. Mills immediately withdrew guns and chases in the pursuit of commitment. Mills' evil, along with his hot-tempered way once are clearly expressed. He chased the book of the confirmed man who did not leave, but ignoring a mental detail. The name of the confirmed person is clearly familiar, with more terrain than Mills. When chasing close to an armored car, Mills had lost track of him. But it is not unexpected. Happened shortly afterwards. However, the validator did not shoot Mills, but, fleeing before Somerset arrived at the scene in time. Mills understands that the actions of the act. Confirmation is not for the heart. Benevolence is a slag. A great humiliation for him. He was angry and wanted to live straight into Joneswee's house, but Somerset stopped him. Because bringing termites back to Joneswee was collected through a way that does not submit to the system. So, If they double in, they will reveal the FBI's surveillance of the library. On Somerset's advice, Mills also slowly calmed down. But soon after, Mills has thrown the door of the house, the person who confirmed the human butt. This action was not caused by him, impulsive but lacking atrial failure. He hired a Wasaku man on the street, so that after the police arrive, this person will declare that he has seen the perpetrator ran into the room. So much so, Mills and Somerset have a reason, justified to break the door. At the same time, avoiding the FBI, were exposed to the public. Return to the room of the Somerset perpetrator, and Mills discovered in the house to be easy. Murder instruments of the same line, notebook series, feeling after every murder. Every word in the book can show deep dissatisfaction. His color for the why now see, people who live let go. Somerset later found, in cabinets of boxes, food at the scene of overeating. Identification from the scene of corruption. 5 in hands, Victor's left from the lazy scene. There is also a bill on the cabinet, from the store to the soy, and a photo of a blonde. Ironly, the girl in the photo, is the 4th victim. At the same time, Mills walked into a room. In the dark, there were a dozen pictures hanging inside. This is the photo of the perpetrator, who, taken at the crime scenes, when approaching the bathtub. He couldn't keep calm. Then Mills and the perpetrator have met before. He is a reporter, who was smashed by his camera. Thinking about how I have faced, Mills was even more angry. At this moment, the phone in the house shows. The perpetrator even showed. Admire them for not. I suspected that the police would find out so quickly. He said that due to the events of the day, now, he will readjust the plan and increase the speed of killing. He wanted to push him to play with garden cats. This mouse climaxes. Also, said that this action is a way to express respect to the police. Time continues to pass until Saturday. Based on invoices found at the scene, they tracked down to a leather goods store. The shopkeeper said that this person had ordered a highly artistic item, but 2 days ago, he had come to pick up the goods. Due to the difficulty of traveling, the shop owner has very deep impression of Jones Reed. At this moment, Somerset received the news. The body of the haired girl, gold, has been found. But what they found was a pigment. The blonde is a sex workers. The door of the crime scene is written on a word, lewdness. There was also a male guest at the scene. This person died of torture of the perpetrator. At the police station, in the interrogation room, the male guest determined that he was also a victim. He was completely mentally depressed, and testified that the perpetrator had used a gun to force him to wear the item, art, in the photo, then forced him to have sex with the blonde girl. The perpetrator used him to kill her. Currently, the target of the defense is to kill all 7 people to recreate the 7 great sin in the Bible. He killed 4 people, but the police are completely helpless. Anger about the case to mobilize local public opinion. Somerset and Muse, the people in charge of the case, are under immense pressure. Muse returned home, and he married his wife to find food, while Somerset did not. How to take a nap. Every night, he needed a metronome to sleep, but tonight, he led the dam to break it. Finally, Sunday came. Police get a cluster phone from the perpetrator. I just worked as a helper again. The 5th murder occurred, came out as expected. The victim was a female model. On the head of her forest is the word, arrogant cries, clearly written. After the position of the 5th victim, the story has reached its climax. On the way back to the police station, Somerset decides to postpone the plans to retire to help Muse solve this case. When they entered the police department, the perpetrator was worthy, should have killed 2 more people. But it was impossible. Suspected of sitting in a taxi and straightforward, entering the scene, close to an extremely calm attitude. Detective, are you looking for me? Do not move. Quickly lay down on the ground. Don't get close to him. Lay down quickly. I know you. Lay down right away. Face down on the ground. Bastard, hurry up. Lie down completely. God, what's the matter? I want to talk to Flip, his master. Mommy. After interrogation, they found out Jones Way had cut all fingerprints to avoid being traced at the scenes. He also always uses cash. Don't leave any trades, this makes the investigation, save the account or information, impossible. Somerset and Muse can't understand why Jones Way turned himself in again. Being a meticulous psychopath and the pursuit of perfection, he couldn't pick his head at this time, because I have 2 sins against him. His enmity has not been done. He definitely had other plans. Jones Way's flipmaster says to the police that he, announcing 2 bodies, have not been found. He only agreed to lead Somerset, and Muse arrives at the place where he is killed. Flipmaster said that if the police agreed, he will confess, else he will use mental reasons to justify it. Eventually, the police agreed to conditions by Jones Way. Nevertheless, they have attached eavesdropping devices on their bodies. Somerset and Muse, an on-site layout, track from above to ensure the safety of the 2 of them. According to Jones Way's instructions, they begin their journey to the place of the assassin. But no one guessed what he meant, his true intentions. Along the way, Somerset tries to ask Jones Way why he killed people in other ways. So cruel. But he didn't think that I am committing a crime. On the contrary, he believed that he was preached to the world. He said that in order to get people's attention, it's not enough to just pat them on the shoulder, but you have to use a dumbbell to wake them up. And these kinda, what he did was to save that father. He called his crimes exhausting. Muse makes a difference in the middle of that. He said that everything Jones Way was doing will be forgotten after a few months. He still doesn't understand the whole thing, where my work is. But when it's done, it will become a work that it is difficult for everyone to understand. But they can't deny its value. What is this madman playing? According to Mr. Head's plan, Jones, I am looking forward to witnessing. Really hopeful. It will amaze you. He believed that the 7-year-old fault was the origin of human beings. Go to Asia yourself and make the world dirty. God gave him a task when he was 7 years old to punish the guilty. Everything he does is to make everyone, people who pay attention to the age of 7 errors. Muse counted that in the people he killed. There are many innocent people. At this time, Jones Way was agitated for the first time. Innocent? Are you kidding me? That fat guy? The bitter fat guy causes impregnation. Can stand up on their own. If you see him on the street, I'll show him to my friends too. Laughed at him. If you see, he was eating. He definitely couldn't eat anymore. After him, I chose a lawyer. 2 people should be in. Silently thank me for that. This person has only known how to make dirty money all his life. By lying and helping. Murderers. Rape. Escapes punishment. Penalties of law. Why? And then that woman. The inside is so evil that it is impossible. Living a nostalgic life on the outside is not beautiful. Merchant name. Mai-Tu. The merchant Mai-Tu was sick. And sick. Don't forget the prostitute. Spreading the disease everywhere. Just in this bad world. I can only say that those people. Innocent. With a serious face. Really. The paranoia of greatness. You should thank me. Why? John. Because after this, his name will be remembered forever. Ingeniously, iron delivery goods have divided faces of John Doe into 7 parts. Under his guidance, police car enters a land near the high voltage power station. He had planned it all. Due to high voltage electric shock, helicopter of the scene, inaccessible, can only continue to glide, aerial loops and the huff. There will not be any intervention. What time is it? What do you ask? I want to know. 7 hours 1 minute. It's almost here. When the 2 of them had just let him out of the car and go deep into the desert, then a truck appeared in the distance. Somerset was worried there was a trap, so he told Mills, stay and watch the murderer. And he came to check. After firing the warning and successfully blocking the vehicle, Somerset finds the carload to be a delivery staff. He said that someone paid him $500 to deliver this package correctly. 7 hours at this location and name. The recipient on the box is Mills. After the paperwork check of the delivery staff, Somerset asked him to leave immediately. He also informed his teammates, first pick him up later. At first, thought it might be bombs, so Somerset didn't dare to open it right away. But after a moment of hesitation, he still decided to check. When he opened that Pandora's box, the story also officially entered the darkest time. Mills, he's here. Put the gun down, Auntie. I wish I could live like you. Shut up. What the hell are you talking about? Do you hear me? Detective, I just want to say that I admire you. And his beautiful wife. What? KU, what are you saying? Extremely uncomfortable. It's easy for a launch. Pellets can be purchased. Information from people in his department. I went to his house this morning. After he left, I tried to play a good husband. I tried to experience the life of life. An ordinary man. Sore down, but it can't be. So I took a souvenir. Her beautiful head. What did he say? Take me down. Because I am against his normal life. Put the gun down, Mills. It seems that fighting is my sin. That's what he wants. He wanted you to shoot him. But he also understood that he wanted to. He committed a crime against him. She begged me to spare her life. And begged me to spare the life of the child in her belly. Doesn't he even know? Emotions and reason are tearing the mind apart. His soul. Beautiful memories. Pain. Broken strings. All dissolve along with the box. Is opened. If you kill him, he will win. No. Oh my God. Oh my God. The thought of squeezing is getting stronger and stronger. Finally, the impulse overwhelmed. The reason of a policeman. The bullet of his vengeance. Through the head of envy. All emotions dissipate. Only left empty and painful. When Muse fires all the magazines. Rondeau is finally complete. Into his alliance. The last two pieces of the puzzle. The picture of the 7 deadly sins. His envy and enmity were complete. Muse is the embodiment of his enemies. And he himself is jealous. This is the perfect picture of 7 deadly sins. Muse's wife dies of jealousy, the murderer's horse, and the murderer of Muse's vengeance. Although Muse's wife is completely innocent. But that adds to the understanding. The audience's understanding of the 7 deadly sins. The 7 deadly sins not only cause the sinner perishes, but also causing pain to innocent people. At the end of the story, Muse is taken away by the police. The future that awaits him is probably just, it is an endlessly dark abyss. Ernest Hemingway once wrote, this.
Enjoyed the video? Hit subscribe, drop a like, share with your crew, and let me know your thoughts in the comments. Let's talk movies.